All right, welcome back, Prospect Live listeners and viewers. We're back with another 2021 MLB draft interview. In the hot seat today is one of my favorite pitchers in the college class that is left-handed starter from the University of Virginia, Andrew Abbott. Andrew, welcome to the show, man. How are you?
Thank you guys for having me. Doing pretty good.
Absolutely, man. We're excited to have you. I can't speak enough about your stuff. I mean, every time we watch you, it seems to get better and better. And you're a nightmare for both lefties and righties. I kind of want to open the floor to you and just allow you to introduce yourself to future fan bases, big league organizations, and just tell them who Andrew Abbott is and what he's all about.
Yeah, so I guess hi, I'm Andrew Abbott. I'm a I'm a fourth year at UVA. Absolutely love baseball. Grew up playing it. My grandpa made it to what we would now call AAA nowadays. So he was like kind of the starting process for me getting into baseball, and it continued with my dad, obviously. Yeah, nothing really to know about me, man. I just like winning. I do whatever the team needs me to do to win. Just put in the hard work and, just go to work every day you come to the field. You got to be ready for that. So, pretty simple, but that's who I am as a person.
Straight shooter.
So you've obviously ascended to the Friday night job here at Virginia. It's a talented rotation. You have three guys, obviously, that are starting on the weekend. All guys that could potentially go day one of the draft. I guess I'm interested to find out just from a competitive standpoint what it's like having those sort of teammates and how much you guys are sort of pushing each other from day to day. Obviously, UVA has a great program to begin with, but it's a special group.
Yeah, I can't really say much about the guys. We're all different. I'm a, more slender guy. I'm a lefty. Mike on Saturdays, bigger, more physical righty, and then Nate on Sunday, and he's just gross. There's no way to describe him. He's just gross. It's the competitive side of things. It didn't really stem from just being between us. It kind of stemmed to between us and the team. We didn't. Coming in the fall, just working out together, getting, pitch scripts, talking the game and stuff, kind of developing that kind of thing. I played for Mike already when he was a freshman too, so I already knew him. Nate came in early, so I got to learn him, and now he's actually my roommate now, so we talk all the time. It's really the competitive side is just, broadening our own knowledge. Me and Mike kind of chitter chatter every now and then about going out and doing, 7 scoreless or trying to do 8 scoreless, trying to one up each other every now and then. But, that's all fun and games. You just go out, try to give your team the best possible chance to win. And I think we all three do that. And know that granted, the team is so good that there's other guys that could step in if, something were to happen or, something like that. I think that's always a big thing to have too. So.
Yeah, for sure. You guys, you certainly have depth behind the three that you listed. I want to kind of talk about your career arc because this, like you said, is your 4th year. You're going to be draft eligible again this year. How have you developed as far as your understanding of pitching, and not just throwing, but pitching over the 4 years at Virginia? Because I think you have taken noticeable steps forward in your development every single year.
Yeah, so coming into UVA, I came from a pretty big high school, so I already knew the fact of like playing in front of like big crowds, having, good players. I faced a team in high school that had all 9 D1 commits, so I kind of knew, what it would take to, pitch at the level. I didn't really know what to expect, travel and all that kind of stuff, but I knew how to pitch. Development wise, mainly that's the one thing that's been consistent has just been velocity since freshman year to now. That's been the one consistent thing, and then mentality too. Virginia, Coach K is my first 2 years, and now Coach Dickinson my last year and a half. They just worked with us on just understanding how good we are in general, like why we're here. Understanding who we are as people, and then going and doing what we do really good. For example, like in the bullpen, Drew kind of works the same, like, hey, you guys you can't walk people. You got to come in. You got to throw strikes. You got to get ahead of guys. You got to be able to get your good stuff on the table to get guys out, either late in ball games or whenever you're called upon. With starting, it's more of been we want to be efficient. We want to get guys out quickly. If you get a lot of Ks, and so what? If not, then you're going to go deep into games for our team and give them the best chance to win. And kind of just been hitting on all those points all 4 years. It's kind of been like, teams winning, everything's going well. And then, you don't make it to the regionals or whatever, but, you're having success and your team's having success. So it's like kind of just goes by the wayside at the end of the day. But it's been a great 4 years of a ride, at least so far. Coach O'Connor, I believe, is one of the best coaches to do to coach D1 baseball. I've been blessed with K's, as I said, and with Drew now. So I've had a lot of knowledge thrown my way, and perhaps the biggest thing that I learned from high school to now is listening. You don't know how much you can learn from somebody just by listening to them. So I think that's another important thing to mention.
Well, you've obviously continued to grow and take steps forward, throughout your time at UVA. I'm interested. You have a true 3-pitch mix. You do mix in the changeup as well, with obviously a very good fastball, nasty curveball. What's your focus when you're on the mound in terms of sequencing? How are you attacking right-handers, left-handers? How much focus do you put in, maybe pregame work and scouting reports and knowing guys' weaknesses and trying to attack that?
So I'm kind of more of a traditionalist. I really don't look at scouting reports beforehand. I kind of just understand, who can run, who can steal, who can speed up the game on me, at moments in time where I'm going to have to slow it down, get it back to where I'm controlling almost every facet of the game. But yeah, my mentality is to have a 3-pitch mix to both sides, be able to throw all 3 pitches to either lefty or righty, just to, add a level of deception. They can't sit on fastball and curveball, raise my odds from 50% versus lefties of just being fastball curveball to 33% that they can't really guess. They kind of keep them off balance a little bit, and produce those quick outs that I was alluding to earlier. So.
Now, you had mentioned that you come from a big high school. I don't know whether or not there was, money and development in that high school, but Tech has really come along over the last few years, and especially at Virginia. Virginia does a really nice job with pitching specifically. How much of that do you like to incorporate into your game, whether that be Rapsodo, whether that be Edgertronic, or you had mentioned that you're a lot of feel as well. So I want to know what your balance is.
So typically I only really used film early on in my career. Everything normally, if something goes wrong with me, it's normally mechanically, and that's the one way I can sit down and kind of see, when, where, and what is going on. And then the last few years when Drew came in, we started using Rapsodo for bullpens. So, I learned about the spin rates, the tunneling, and all that kind of stuff associated with that aspect. And at UVA, we use Yocker Tech. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but we use that for the games and, scrimmages and stuff to, get the same data as a Rapsodo would, but not putting it out on the field, obviously. We kind of do that, and that's kind of changed my mindset a little bit. I really don't rely on film as much now. I kind of just rely on how my stuff is playing in that game that week, and then, compare it by week-to-week basis kind of thing. Just to see, if there's a big disparity, or if my arm slot's dropping, or, am I, tipping my pitches before I even throw the ball to home plate, that kind of stuff. That's really been the only big difference, at least from
good stuff.
First year until 4th year. So
good stuff.
I'm going to change direction a little bit here. And obviously, I'm a New England guy. I catch a lot of Cape League games, saw you out there. You had 2 years of Cape League experience, which is a little bit different than maybe some of the other guys that are out there in the class. So talk to me a little bit about that experience and maybe some of the different things, different types of hitters and stuff that you saw out there. I know that's something we typically hear.
Yeah, I absolutely love the Cape. Great atmosphere, the environment surrounding it, it's built up to such a magnitude, and it fulfills that in every single which way. Just going to the field each day, and, you meet, I don't know, 25, 30 guys that are probably from different colleges around the world, around the country. So you kind of, learn how they work, how, like, what they went through, like, what do they do? You can pick up little things on each other. They learn from me, I learn from them, kind of thing. And, just having the surrounding, atmosphere, when people think of summer ball, they think of it as like a job. We get sent out, most of us probably don't want to play because we just played a full season. So, like, we're not really excited to go play or whatnot. And, you tell them, like, hey, I like loved going up there. Like, I'm going to do it again. Hopefully, everything goes swell. And, the site, the sites are always good. It's a beautiful place up there. It's kind of a breath of fresh air for us, honestly. Sorry, it's the middle of a thunderstorm out here, but
That was cool.
yeah, I saw it on the screen. I had to look.
We thought you had paparazzi.
But yeah, I just no, just the atmosphere really for me. The baseball speaks for itself. I mean, I can't tell you how many guys have been drafted high or made it to the MLB from that league. I mean, that's insane to just get the opportunity to play there. So it's been great. It was great to go there 2 years to say the least. So
for sure. Year 4 of the ACC, 2 years in the Cape. I'm assuming you've seen some pretty damn good hitters. Are there a couple that stand out for you that have just kind of really opened your eyes in terms of, that guy's got a special bat?
That's pretty hard because I have seen a lot of good players in my day. I will go freshman year. Definitely has to be Joey Bart. I mean, I can't really say anything that nobody doesn't already know about Joey Bart. I mean, he was basically MLB ready, catching wise, hitting wise. He had the tools. He called his own game since he was a freshman at Georgia Tech. I actually gave up a home run to him too, so I kind of know that kind of side of things too. But I would say him. I played with Seth Beer on a travel team growing up, so from the left side, he's definitely one of the more advanced hitters that I faced. I'm trying to think of more recent guys. I mean, Patrick Bailey from NC State was always tough. There's so many good ones. I feel bad leaving them all out, but everyone kind of, they kind of impact you in different ways, like Patrick Bailey wouldn't strike out much. So you'd have to, force contact against him. With Joey, you probably could get him to chase if you got ahead of in the count on him. And Seth, he's really good. So, you just got to go at him with your best stuff. And he gets a hit off you, then you move on, tip your cap and say, all right, I'll get you out the rest of the time. So, it's just mentality kind of kicks in on those people. So
I like how reflective you are. It seems like you try to take a little bit of something away from every at bat. Even if you win the at bat, everything's a learning experience.
Yeah, baseball kind of teaches you how to, just listen to it. We always say the saying, the game knows. With that saying, and then when I learned from Coach K's my first year, he had always said that L's, like in the loss column, L's were not losses, but they were learns. There was always something that you could take out of that game, maybe your appearance, maybe the team's game or whatever, like if you didn't even throw, that can be applied later, either, next day or later down the road. And I think that really speaks volumes. And, I've kind of taken that to heart and said, like, hey, if I have a bad outing, then, I can just sit back, learn from it, go back out and just dominate.
Is there any sort of lesson that you've learned throughout some of these learns that sticks out? Was there sort of like a breakout moment or an aha moment for you, or maybe a few?
It was, I think it's kind of ironic to say, but the biggest thing is to enjoy it. It's, you take for granted how long you're in college, the saying, the best 4 years of your life. Everybody said it at least some point somewhere, you're playing college baseball at a high level and then you're aspiring to go play your dreams. So, there's a whole lot to take away from the game. And I just think that it's not important to sit there and dwell on the negative side of things. I think it's more important to to take in and learn from the negative things than to just sit there and be like, oh, well, this game sucked. I didn't pitch very well in this game, because you're going to have another opportunity. That's the main thing. You're going to have another game. You're going to have another chance to go out and prove who you are. So there's always the good side to look at. So
I love it. I love that perspective. One day at a time. You kind of have to do that as a starting pitcher. That's for sure. I want to talk a little bit about next steps. Obviously, you've got a few more months in the college baseball season, but looking ahead a little bit, if you were to get drafted, are there qualities about a big league organization that you specifically are looking for that you think might help in your development to get to that next level?
I haven't, looking at it, being draft eligible last year and then in high school, it kind of, changed perspectives of what you expect. Honestly, just looking at the team, the farm system, making sure that they, take care of minor league players, that they have a, well-known history of development and sending guys up, not keeping guys down for a long time. If they're playing well, that everything's going well, then they move. That's a biggie for basically anybody in baseball world. And then I would just say, just trying to be open and, communicate, just having that team behind you 100% of the way, even through injury or, maybe something's going wrong, having them behind you and having them provide those resources to help you figure it out to, become the better version of yourself. So I think probably those are the biggest two.
Really quick, can I say one more thing here, Jeff? So one thing that I was just thinking of a comparison. I've talked with Ryan Yarbrough a few times, and I can't help but kind of picture Andrew Abbott as the next Ryan Yarbrough. I mean, maybe not a guy that goes 7 or 8 innings at the next level, but just an out-getter, a guy that goes out and pitches 3 or 4 innings and totally shuts down the middle of the lineup. Do you have a preference on how you're utilized at the next level, or do you kind of have this vision of who you are on the mound?
I kind of just attribute that to being versatile. I've done both now in my college career, and that's how I want to be in the pros. You increase your chances by just giving more opportunity, giving more. I've done this, I've done that. It doesn't really matter to me. I don't really have a favorite. Just living by that. I mean, just living by the code of I'm going to get outs for you, and I'm going to win. And that's just sticking by that and not deteriorating from that goal. So in that case, it doesn't matter what I'm doing. I just know I'm going to do those things for you.
Good answer. Here, let's stay in the MLB topic a little bit. Is there a player, current or past, that you've sort of modeled yourself after, or you look up to, or maybe follow really closely, or maybe taken some things away from in terms of mechanics, whatever it might be?
Definitely growing up, I idolized Cliff Lee a little bit. Just the fluidity and, just the bulldog mentality going out there. I vividly remember when he was in the World Series pitching against the Yankees at Yankee Stadium, he catching the nonchalant ball right here, just not showing any emotion whatsoever, just caught it, kind of just flipped it up to himself and said, all right, well, he threw it like a CG in that game too. So it's like, okay, well, we get it. You're good. And then kind of later in life, one big help that I actually had Billy Wagner as a coach in my high school career. I know I'm good family friends with him now. But he kind of helped me form the beginnings of the mentality part of my career in baseball. Obviously he's had a Hall of Fame career in my opinion. He did what he did at the end of the games. Maybe the makeup isn't the same, I'm not blowing 101 smoke by somebody, but, you can still learn and just, appreciate the time that he's given to me about, just, what to expect, the grind that's, coming, very soon. Just listening and learning. So.
Well, I mean, we're at 20 minutes. I don't want to keep you too long, Andrew. I know that you got a thunderstorm to watch. Jeff, if you got any more questions that you want to throw Andrew's way, it's all yours, man.
No, man, I'm good. Thank you for joining us today, Andrew. Best of luck in the rest of the season. Looking forward to watching it UVA UVA versus BC end of the season. And best of luck to your team, and then as well in the draft process as well.
Thank you.